Hello again. It's me, Quindarius Dean. I look a little different today because I'm testing some stuff, admin prototypes and admin things that I'm working on. But I saw some conversation in Discord earlier talking about making the infamous chemical dip or diphenhydramine and its complications and how you can, ash the reagents as you're cooking it. So I'm going to show you a rather painless way of making it. But before we begin, I want to talk about the merits of diphenhydramine and talk about alternatives. See, this is what diphenhydramine, or DIP, does. It heals 3 poison, and these are the less interesting parts where it removes histamine and 3 seconds of jittering. Heals 3 poison, but it takes some effort to make, right? I'm going to show you something that is far better. Look at this. Stellibinin. Ever heard of it? Probably not. Botanists do not make this half the time. But they should. It's so good. All it takes is some galaxy thistle. You just grind it up. It heals 4 poison, 1 more than diphenhydramine, and it removes amatoxin. I have seen lots of research directors and passengers roll into medbay, severely poisoned, dying quickly. And you know what? Most chief medical officers I see have no idea how to deal with a big poisoning, especially when their chemist only gives them diethylamine. And so what ends up happening is they start giving them things like epinephrine or just some other lame weak chem like diethylamine. And what ends up happening is they end up healing the air loss damage and permanently killing the research director. It's really annoying. But things like this, stellibinin, removes amatoxin. It removes the big poison that kills people so often. And yet, nobody grows this. Most chemists never heard about this. And I don't blame them. Botanists are generally unrobust about this. But I'm about to show you some really cool tech about this before we start talking about dip. Look at this. This is a galaxy thistle seed. It's a 3 yield, 10 potency seed by default. And I'm going to show you a real interesting thing about this. If I plant this, and I don't think this one, do they start with? They don't. Okay, I'm going to spawn in a robust harvest bottle. Every botanist starts with a full bottle of robust harvest, and there's like 2 in the vendor. If I take this, and I change this to 13 units, and I pour this on that galaxy thistle seed, we'll find that we get a 49 yield plant after this. I'm going to use some funny editing magic in a moment to cut to where this is fully grown. And then we'll talk a little bit about stellibinin before we start talking about it, because I think it's an important discussion to be had. Alright, it's fully grown now. And it only took about, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? So it's fully grown. We're going to take a bit of plant clippers. We're going to clip off this seed. We're going to notice that the plant's still doing fine, and it has a 49 potency yield. In fact, we could clip it again in some cases. I guess it didn't in this case, but sometimes you can clip it a second time and double your seeds. It won't have any seeds if we toss it into this seed extractor, but we don't need to. We just clip the seed. We can just replant it. So if the botanist does this bare minimum effort of planting a single galaxy thistle seed with 13 units of robust harvest and just sets aside a tray for it, look at what we can accomplish here. We wouldn't even have to make dip. In a perfect world, we don't. So I'm going to put this one, just the one, inside this grinder, and I'm going to grind it. Look how much stellibinin we get out of this. That's a good 13.25 units of stellibinin. Some napkin math tells me that is at least 52 poison that one plant can heal. And we got 3 out of this, right? So we can get like a good quarter of a jug, almost, of stellibinin from one single growth of the galaxy thistle plant. And this would completely eliminate our need for what we're about to do next. So bother your botanists about getting you stellibinin more often, because stellibinin rocks, and it sucks to see that it is so underused. Now that I'm out of the spiel about stellibinin, though, let's talk about making dip. That is a pain point for people. So I'm going to start out with a completely fresh chem dispenser and a mostly fresh chemmaster. Now, as now it's going to be completely fresh. I'm going to discard this. So let's start with the prereqs. We need table salt. We need diethylamine. We need oil and carbon and ethanol. So I'm going to start out by making the prereqs. I don't have a heating element here, and I don't need one. I'm going to start by making the oil. We're going to make, say, 90 units of it. So welding fuel, and remember oil is a hydrocarbon, so just add 30 hydrogen, 30 carbon. And then we are going to make salt next. We're going to do chlorine, sodium. Actually, I'm also just going to get the diethylamine out of the way. That's going to be ammonia and ethanol. And that's our diethylamine. And we can quickly make some hot beaker by making sulfuric acid. So if I do 2 hits of oxygen, a hit of hydrogen and sulfur, we get sulfuric acid and this beaker. I'm going to get this. I can't wear chem goggles as this particular prototype, so I'm just going to bring up the edit solutions and show you the thermals as we go along. This is 390K, and we don't need to look at the grinder UI anymore. We're going to, oh yeah, that's right here. We're going to make salt, sodium, and chlorine. And now we have table salt, diethylamine, oil, and now we need our carbon and ethanol. So we're just going to use the same beaker, and we're going to take, I don't know, a full 100 carbon, dump that in there, a full 100 ethanol, dump that in there. And now we're almost ready to start making our stuff. Now, let's get a couple of jugs set aside, because we're going to do some premix, as they call it. It is not scary, trust me. So we're just going to take this at room temperature, and we're going to pour in, say, 40 units of each chemical, except for one. I'm going to leave carbon as the last one. So I'm going to do 40 ethanol in this, and maybe 40 oil. Take this and dump it into here. I'll do the same for the other one. And diethylamine. And table salt. Put it in this one. Table salt. And yeah, diethylamine. Cool. Okay, that gives us 160 units of stuff in each of these. The last thing we need is carbon, but we want to get some hot but not too hot carbon. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this beaker and we're going to make some chloral hydrate. We're going to add 30 units of chlorine, 10 units of ethanol, and I need water, so I'm going to dump this out in here. I'm going to go up here, grab some water, bring it back, and now we're going to do the 30 chlorine, 10 units of ethanol, and 10 units of water. And we can see by the thermals we have 1465 temperature. Now here's the boundaries that we have to work with. If we want to make diphenhydramine, we need something around 370, right? 377K, but we can't go above where oil becomes ash, which is 520K. So this is a little too hot. We're going to take this and cool it down by adding 15 units of anything from the chemical dispenser. I'll just do carbon, and that brings our temperature down to 762. We'll go ahead and drain both of these off, and then we're going to add our carbon to this beaker, and then we're just going to transfer into this jug and into this jug. And now we have 120 units of dip in this one and 120 units in this one. We can make as many units of premix as we want and just do this to finish them all off and have that out in a pretty speedy manner. Anyway, hope this helps. That way you can skip sitting on the heating element forever and just ready make some dip. Thanks for watching.